Hi, I'm Liz Phalp, creator of Will They Eat It TV, where I teach women systems to simplify fitness and to help them incorporate a convenient diet of real foods for themselves and their families so that they have the energy to live life in the body that they want. So my question for you today is, which type of person are you? I know a couple different types of people, and obviously not everybody fits into one or two of these categories, and some people may be, less in one or less in the other. But I want you to think about which one you might fit into. So the first type of person is somebody who is really, good at exercising, has some program, maybe they're a marathon runner, they exercise every day anyway, maybe 3-4 times a week. But they work really hard, and I know a lot of people like this who work really hard exercising all the time, some program that they really stick to. Either they love it or they just feel like they must do it, either way. But maybe they don't pay a whole lot of attention to what they eat, or maybe they're trying to eat kind of healthy, but they feel like this exercise allows them the freedom to kind of eat whatever they want. The second type of person is somebody who spends a lot of time and energy on eating healthy. Maybe they eat a 60 to 80% raw foods diet. They spend lots of time blending and juicing and dehydrating and soaking and sprouting and all of these kinds of things, but they don't really have this other side of the equation where they have some kind of regular exercise. So I want to illustrate how big of a deal it is that you of not doing both. You're so the category I fit into until kind of recently was this healthy eating person, where I ate really healthy, but my exercise consisted of things like elliptical, working on my elliptical at home, or other things like that. What it took for me was to get out of the house, commit to a schedule at a gym, and go there regularly. So what I want to use to illustrate this example is, like, you could think about scissors. If you have scissors, you have two pieces that are working together that both, almost from opposite directions are working at the same thing of cutting paper. If you only had one of those, it would be much more difficult to cut that paper. Since I'm in my kitchen, I'm going to illustrate this with a knife and a cutting board. So I'm going to call the knife the food, the healthy eating aspect. And the cutting board is going to represent the exercise aspect. So let's say I want to cut this broccoli. I could, if I use just the cutting board, so let's say we're just going to be exercising, not eating healthy, I could, beat it on the cutting board all day, and I could break it with my fingers. That might be like, the exercise you get chasing your kids around the park could be considered this breaking of it with your hands. That's about as far as you'll get without a real exercise program, because you've got the cutting board, and that's all you've got. If I have a knife, which is my healthy eating, and no cutting board, my hand offers a significant amount of resistance. Oh, I messed up that last analogy. Okay, so the running around with your kids at the park was exercise, but you did have exercise. Okay, so back to the beginning here. If I am trying to break this broccoli up and have a cutting board but not a knife, then I have a regular exercise program, but I don't have healthy food. So maybe I'm kind of eating healthy and trying to incorporate some vegetables and fruits in my diet, but don't really know what I'm doing. That would be breaking this off with your hands. Sorry. If I have a knife and no cutting board, then the resistance that my hand offers and that the food itself has would be like playing at the park with your kids, the exercise you get from that kind of thing, or your elliptical workouts. You might get pretty far. You might be able to cut a lot of this that way. But I've heard it said you get about 2/3 of the way there with your diet. If you have a cutting board and a knife, you can get much more precise cuts, and you can go much, much faster than by hitting it against the board or cutting without the cutting board. So this is the main point I want to illustrate, is not only that you're missing the full benefit. I mean, when I started working out, after I'd been eating healthy for a long time, and I started working out regularly, it was like 2 weeks, and I lost all the extra fat I had on my body, and I started noticing muscle definition. It was not instant muscle definition. That happened more gradually, but it was amazing how just adding in that second piece made such a difference. And it's the same way with healthy eating. But even more than that, you're missing the full benefit if you're not doing both of these pieces together. But also, eating healthy makes exercise so much easier, and exercise makes eating healthy so much easier. So when I exercise, I crave healthy food all day long. And when I am eating healthy food, I have so much more energy to exercise. And these things really go hand in hand. And people who spend lots of energy exercising and no energy eating healthy, they are working so much harder to get the same level of exercise that somebody who eats healthy and exercises. It is so much more work to exercise if you're not eating healthy. And it is so much more work to eat healthy if you're not exercising and creating that in-tuneness with your body that you get from exercising. So these two things not only like get you all the way up to the top of the benefits, but they work so well together that when you're doing both, it's actually easier than only doing one, and you're getting better results. I hope this point really comes across. I love analogies, so I'm going to add one more analogy. My husband's friend, who he actually used to work with and commute to work with, has been building a Cobra for 3 years. He bought this kit for $14,000, and he's put at least that much more into it, building this Cobra. And he's part of this online group of, people who do this as a hobby. And he, these cars are so powerful that one of the people in this group had let a friend of his drive him in this Cobra, just try it out once. And these things take off with so much power so quickly and go so fast around corners that when this guy went around a corner, they fully just crashed it, and they both died instantly. This kind of a car with this kind of power is what I would equate a body that maybe like a marathon runner or somebody who's really good at exercising. What they put into that body, I want you to think about like this Cobra, what kind of fuel they would put into this Cobra. If this Cobra is given, really low octane, maybe I'm almost in over my head in analogies here because I'm not a car person, but a really low octane diluted fuel with peanut butter in it, how far is this Cobra going to go? It's never going to show its full speed. It's probably going to break down at some point, and it's not going to deliver the maximum benefits that this machine that's had so much work put into it could deliver. And at the same time, if you do fuel it with all of this, really good energy, really good food or fuel, it's going to be able to deliver this maximum benefit. And I also want to take this one step farther and say, if you are doing both these things, what does that cause you to do? If you have a really healthy, fit body, you eat really well, you exercise really well, that causes you to want to enjoy this body and live life. Like I say, live life. So you get to, go play, go have fun, and enjoy your body and not be held back. So let's see, I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. So whichever camp you fit into, whether you're the healthy eater or whether you're the good exerciser, I want you to really consider how much farther you could get if you incorporated the other side, and how much easier what you are doing would become when you incorporate the other side. So I challenge you to make a goal and write it down and tell it to somebody, and try this for 2 weeks. Just try 2 weeks, and you'll see if I'm right or not, of what a difference it makes and how much more benefit you'll get and how much easier it will be. So I challenge you to try that and to eat food and live life.